Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's morning ramble. And this morning I was thinking about a book I read many years ago by a painter named Michel Cassu. And in the book, the book was called Point Zero. And she talked about the three dragons of creativity. And these were the sort of three obstacles, the three things that any artist has to overcome in order to create art. Now, if you think, well, I'm not an artist, so this one doesn't apply for me, I beg to differ. Your work is your art. Your life is your art. Your ability to navigate current events is your art. And the three dragons of creativity may be the very thoughts, the very things that are making it look like I don't know how to get through this. I don't know how to navigate this. And the first dragon is the dragon of product. The idea that every idea I have has to go somewhere, and I have to know what it's going to do, and I have to know what the form is, and I have to know if it's going to be successful, and I have to know who it's going to reach, and I have to know if it's worth trying. And that idea that not only do we have to lock down the form of what we create early on in the process, as opposed to what I've learned over the years, which is that success is iterative. That each iteration develops what we're doing, and sometimes it goes in a direction very different to where we started, and sometimes it just becomes a more refined form of what it is we set out to create in the first place. But if we get caught up in the dragon of product, if we get caught up in our thinking about it's got to be a certain way and it's got to work, that's very problematic, and it's symptomatic of the second dragon, the dragon of control. And the dragon of control says, I need to be in control of the whole process. I need to know left turn, right turn. I need a formula to follow. It essentially turns the act of creating on a blank canvas, which is what the world is, a blank canvas to be created on. It's what your life is. Every day you get a new page to create on. And it's turning it into a paint by numbers. All right, give me what do we do? So all ones are blue and all twos are yellow, and it takes the joy out of the creation. Even if you get a very pretty looking piece of velvet with dogs playing poker or whatever. That's the only one I could think of actually right now, but I sort of used to do paint by numbers. And the third dragon that Michel Cassu talked about was the dragon of meaning. That well, what does this mean about me, and what does this mean in the grand scheme? And I have to understand my art, and I have to know why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it has to all make sense. And the beautiful thing about creativity is it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be filled with life for people to fall in love with it, for you to fall in love with it. The mythic writer Joseph Campbell said, I don't think people are really looking for the meaning of life. I think what they're looking for is the experience of being alive. And when you allow the aliveness of creativity to fill you up and spill out into whatever form it wants, regardless of what it turns into, or if what it turns into is right for people, and regardless of if you set out to do one thing and it turned into something else along the way, as long as it is filled with life, people will be drawn to it in one form or another. I was talking to a client yesterday, and she said, yeah, I mean, I just, creativity won't dance with me. And I said to her, well, if you want creativity as a dance partner, you got to invite it to dance. You got to sit down with a keyboard or a guitar or a blank piece of paper or another human or group of humans and go, what shall we create? And just start. And that would be my invitation for you today. If you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like you don't know the way through, if you're looking for the next paint by numbers for how to navigate COVID-19, stop. Invite the creative potential to dance. Don't worry about the dragons. Even though I just told you about them, they're not real. They're just made of thought. They're as ethereal as a cloud that looks like a dragon. And you can fly straight through them and fly straight past them and create beauty and joy and aliveness in this very moment. And sometimes, some of what you create, you'll be moved by, and you'll choose to share it with the world. And I hope you take a little bit of time to share some of your creative thoughts and creative adventures in the feed below. Have fun, learn heaps, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye for now.